Chosen one, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel the weight of these words settling into your spirit. You didn't stumble upon this message by chance. You were led here. Every valley you walked through, every tear that fell in silence, every night you wondered if God had forgotten you. It all brought you to this exact moment in divine time. There is a reason the path felt heavy. There is a reason the mountain seemed distant while the valley swallowed your hope. Because in the depths of that valley, heaven was crafting your elevation. You were being shaped, not shattered, refined, not rejected, hidden, not forgotten. You see, the valley was never your defeat, it was your preparation. While others saw only your struggle, God saw your strength being built in secret. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every delay, these were chisels in the hand of the divine sculptor, carving the resilience that would one day carry his glory. Listen carefully, what you endured was not wasted. There is purpose in every season of pain. The valley was the classroom of heaven, and you were the student learning endurance, humility, and faith. You had to walk where others refused to go so that you could carry what others cannot bear. Now something is shifting. The same God who allowed you to descend into the valley is now commanding the mountain to rise beneath your feet. The season of deep shadows is turning into one of radiant light. Heaven is whispering, what once broke you will now build you. What once emptied you will now overflow. This message comes as a divine confirmation. The valley was necessary because it positioned you for mountain glory. The tears were seeds. The waiting was weight training for your spirit. And soon, what was once your place of sorrow will become your altar of triumph. Stay with me, chosen one. In the next few moments, you will understand why your journey had to unfold this way. The revelation that's coming is not just a word, it's a release. Heaven has scheduled this moment to remind you, your valley was never punishment, it was prophecy. When you were in the valley, it wasn't silence you heard, it was strategy. Heaven was speaking in ways the noise of the world couldn't decipher. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every delay that made your heart ache. These were divine pauses, not denials. The silence of God was never his absence. It was his way of preparing the next chapter of your destiny. There are moments in life when God hides his hand so that he can strengthen your heart. You were never abandoned. You are being trusted with stillness because stillness reveals what noise conceals. In the quiet, you discovered your own resilience. In the waiting, you learned to hear the whisper beneath the storm. That whisper was heaven's voice training your spirit to move by faith, not by sight. The valley was heaven's classroom, but the mountain that's heaven's platform. And now the same God who watched you walk through shadows is about to display his glory upon your life. But understand this, what's about to unfold is not random. It was written. Before you took your first breath, a divine script had already been sealed with your name. The trials you faced were chapters in that script. The people who left the seasons that broke you, the prayers that seemed to go unanswered, all were lines of destiny woven by divine intelligence. You thought you were losing your way, but in truth, you were walking the narrow road to purpose. You were never wandering. You were being aligned. Heaven has been watching every step, every tear, every hidden act of faith that no one else saw. And now the author of your story is turning the page. The ink of divine timing has dried, and the next word written over your life is glory. Yes, the valley was real. The pain was deep, but so is the promise. You didn't walk through those shadows for nothing. You were escorted through them by the unseen hand of the Almighty, who has now declared, it is time. Time for elevation. Time for unveiling. Time for glory. Every divine delay is turning into divine display. The same God who allowed the valley is now commanding the mountain to reveal its view. What you once called a breakdown was the foundation of your breakthrough. And soon what was hidden in humility will rise in honor. So listen closely now. The message you are about to hear is not a prediction, it is a decree. The valley was necessary because it built the strength to carry what's next. Heaven has seen your endurance, the throne has recorded your obedience, and now the voice of destiny declares, prepare for mountain glory. There is a moment in every divine journey when heaven whispers, now look again. The same landscape that once looked barren begins to bloom. The same path that once felt endless now reveals its hidden direction. You begin to see that every step, every trial, every delay was leading you somewhere sacred. This is that moment for you. Heaven is lifting the veil from your understanding. The prophecy is unfolding not in the distant future, but here now in the quiet corners of your transformation. What was once confusion is turning into clarity. What was once pain is transforming into power, and what was once a valley of despair is becoming a valley of divine revelation. The Spirit says, you walk through the lowest places because that's where I build the strongest roots. I allowed your tears because they watered the soil of your future. I let the winds blow not to destroy you, but to reveal what cannot be shaken. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven had you hidden. Hidden because glory cannot be rushed. Diamonds are not born in comfort. They are forged in pressure. You too were being refined. Heaven's fire did not come to consume you. It came to crown you. And now the prophecy is this. The season of low valleys is ending, and the season of mountain glory is dawning. The same path that once humbled you will now honor you. The same places where you were overlooked will soon call your name in recognition. The same people who doubted your calling will witness your restoration. But this glory, it's not loud, it's luminous. It's not about applause, it's about alignment. You are entering a time when the divine light on your life will speak louder than your words ever could. Every closed door you faced was God saying, not that one, I'm building something better. Every betrayal was heaven's redirection. Every loss was divine subtraction to make room for multiplication. You didn't just survive your valley, you carried something sacred out of it, wisdom, discernment, spiritual sight. You have eyes that now see differently, heartbeats that now move in rhythm with heaven's timing. And as this prophecy unfolds, you will notice a reversal. What once drained you will now feed you. What once resisted you will now release you. The heavy fog is lifting, and what was concealed is being revealed. Mountains represent visibility. Valleys conceal, but mountains reveal. The valley built your foundation. Now the mountain will broadcast your transformation. God is about to take what was hidden in humility and place it upon a hill where all can see His glory through you. This is not about personal elevation, it's about divine demonstration. The world will not see you elevated. They will see God magnified through your story. You will stand on the mountain not as a conqueror boasting in strength, but as a vessel glowing with grace. The prophecy is unfolding like dawn. Slowly, the first light breaks through. You will begin to notice divine patterns, sudden alignments, new connections, unexpected favor. It will feel subtle at first, but unmistakable. Doors you didn't even knock on will open. People you never sought will find you. Paths you thought were lost will appear again, but this time illuminated by divine timing. Yes, the valley was necessary. It taught you faith without sight, strength without applause, peace without understanding. But now the mountain calls, and heaven is answering through you. Soon you will look back and realize the valley was not punishment. It was prophecy in disguise. Every shadow was a setup for light. Every delay was the rhythm of divine precision. Every heartbreak was heaven's way of rearranging the pieces of your purpose. And now, the heavens declare, the time has come. Rise, for your mountain is ready. The valley and the mountain are not just places. They are mirrors of the soul's journey. Each carries a divine purpose, one to humble, the other to honor. The valley teaches surrender. The mountain reveals glory. The valley strips away what is false. The mountain crowns what is true. In the valley, the light seems dim, but that's where faith learns to see. It's easy to believe on the mountain when the sky is clear, but faith is proven when clouds cover every direction and you walk anyway. That is where heaven measures your trust. That is where you learn to walk by faith, not by sight. The valley was a sacred descent not into defeat, but into divine depth. You weren't falling apart. You were falling into alignment. The deeper you went, the closer you came to the roots of your calling. Every loss was pruning. Every silence was shaping. Every delay was divine choreography. You see, God does not rush fruit that will feed nations. He allows time, tension, and testing. The valley was where your roots went deep enough to hold the weight of future glory. You were being anchored, not abandoned. If the roots are shallow, the glory collapses. So heaven took you low to grow you strong. The mountain, then, is not a reward, it's a revelation. It is the outward reflection of the inward transformation. The same you that cried in the valley now shines differently on the mountain because the light inside you has been refined. You have become transparent enough for divine glory to shine through. The mountain is symbolic of manifestation when invisible faith becomes visible fruit. It's when prayers that once echoed in silence begin to take form before your eyes. It's when all that was hidden in the unseen realm of faith begins to show in the seen realm of life. But here's the mystery. The valley and the mountain are connected. You cannot reach the summit without walking through the soil. The climb is sacred. Every step you took in tears was counted. Every breath you labored through was remembered. Heaven wastes nothing. The dirt that once covered you now becomes the foundation beneath your elevation. Spiritually, the valley represents trust. The mountain represents testimony. Trust is built in obscurity. Testimony is born in visibility. God trains your heart in private before He reveals His glory in public. This is the spiritual law of transformation, concealment before coronation. And the glory that's coming is not the shallow kind the world chases. It's not about status, fame, or applause. It's the weight of divine presence resting upon your life, a peace that cannot be shaken, a wisdom that cannot be faked, a light that cannot be hidden. You carry heaven's fingerprints now. That is the mark of one who endured the valley. So if you find yourself still between the valley and the mountain, remember this truth. Transition feels like tension. The bridge between pain and promise always shakes a little. Don't mistake movement for instability. It's just the sound of destiny unfolding. You are the seed that broke through the soil. You are the traveler who walked through the storm and found the sunrise. You are the vessel that was emptied to be filled anew. The spiritual meaning of your valley is this: it made room for God. You had to be emptied of what was temporary to hold what was eternal. You had to lose what was lesser to gain what was greater. And the mountain, when you stand upon it, will not be about pride but perspective, because you will finally see why the descent was necessary. Everything that once confused you will make sense. Every unanswered prayer will find its echo in divine fulfillment. Every wound will reveal its hidden wisdom. You will look back and whisper, "Now I see. The valley was my making." The deeper meaning of this prophecy is not that you are moving to a higher place, it's that you are becoming a higher vessel. The elevation is inward, first outward, second. When God raises you, He raises your perspective, your peace, your perception. That is true mountain glory when your spirit stands taller than your circumstances. The valley was the womb. The mountain is the manifestation. You are stepping out of what formed you into what fulfills you. When heaven moves, creation responds. Nothing shifts in the unseen without echoing in the seen. The divine always leaves evidence subtle at first, but undeniable once your spirit awakens to it. You are not waiting for signs anymore. They have already begun to surround you. You just needed the eyes to see. Look carefully at your life in this season, because the Spirit confirms His promises through patterns, not coincidences. The valley may have been silent, but the mountain hums with divine frequency. These are the signs that heaven is speaking over your destiny. The sudden stirring in your spirit. Lately you've felt a quiet pull, a gentle awareness that something is shifting. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. You feel a peace you can't explain even in uncertainty. That's the holy alignment. When the mountain season begins, the soul feels lighter before the landscape changes. 2. The return of lost strength. In the valley, fatigue was constant, emotional, spiritual, even physical. But now energy is returning where exhaustion once lived. Ideas are resurfacing. Hope flickers again. This is a divine renewal, a signal that the winds have changed direction. Heaven is breathing life into what you thought was over. 3. The reappearance of divine connections. People or opportunities you thought were gone suddenly reemerge not by chance, but by calling. God often resurrects relationships or paths that serve your next level. Notice the names that resurface the doors, that reopen the invitations that feel strangely aligned. Those are not memories. They are movements. 4. The breaking of old cycles. Habits, thoughts, or patterns that once had power over you are losing their grip. The triggers don't hold the same weight. The fears don't echo as loudly. That's not just healing. It's heaven's confirmation that your spiritual gravity is shifting upward. What once chained you now bows to the new strength within you. 5. The divine interruptions. Plans you made may suddenly change. Paths you thought were certain may redirect. Don't resist, rejoice. Interruption is God's intervention in disguise. When the mountain season begins, He rearranges your steps for alignment. Every detour now leads to destiny. 6. The peace that defies logic. Even with unanswered questions, your heart feels still. The noise hasn't vanished, but it no longer owns your focus. This peace isn't human, it's holy. It's the evidence of divine protection wrapping around your journey. When peace becomes your atmosphere instead of your pursuit, that's confirmation that glory is near. Each of these signs is heaven's language written across the canvas of your life. You're not imagining the changes. You're witnessing prophecy take form. The divine doesn't whisper empty promises, it manifests evidence. And when you start seeing these signs appear in clusters, moments of peace, unexpected favor, sudden restoration, it means the mountain is already rising beneath your feet. Don't doubt what's unfolding just because it's subtle. The first signs of dawn never come with thunder. They come with quiet light. Watch, listen, and remember. Heaven never moves without leaving footprints. But even as the signs begin to appear, there is one truth. Heaven needs you to understand, before every rise there is resistance. Before the light fully breaks, shadows try to linger. Not to stop you, but to test what you've learned in the valley. The closer you come to your mountain glory, the subtler the opposition becomes. It won't always appear as obvious battles. Sometimes it comes as distraction weariness or old emotions trying to resurface. These are not signs that you're losing ground. They're evidence that you're crossing thresholds. Understand this. Every elevation demands examination. The enemy cannot create destiny, But he can attempt to delay discernment, so he sends confusion, small storms, or whispers of doubt. He tries to convince you that nothing is changing right when everything is. There may be days when it feels like the valley is returning, when old fears rise again, when the silence stretches longer than you hoped. Don't panic. The final test before revelation is always trust. When you cannot trace God's hand, trust His heart. Hidden challenges will appear as emotional waves. Sudden moments of discouragement, moments when you question your worth, moments when fatigue whispers. Maybe it's not my time, but remember, the voice of weariness is always loudest before the dawn. Sometimes the test will come through people. The very ones who once stood beside you may misunderstand your calling. Don't fight to explain it. The mountain season requires a different circle, not larger, but purer. Let go gracefully. Heaven will fill every empty space with divine alignment. Other times the challenge will come through inner restlessness. The places that once felt safe may start feeling small. That's not failure. That's growth. Your spirit is expanding beyond what your old environment can contain. The discomfort is proof that elevation is near. There may even be divine delays, moments when heaven seems to pause again. But this time it's not to teach you patience. It's to ensure perfect positioning. God delays nothing that's ready. If it hasn't appeared yet, it's still aligning for your good. So do not fear the hidden challenges. They are not there to break you. They are there to confirm you. The heat that rises before gold shines is the final purification. What feels like pressure is heaven's way of ensuring you can carry the weight of glory without cracking. And when you feel weary, remember what the valley taught you. Faith isn't proven by comfort, but by consistency. The same God who held you in the shadows will sustain you in the stretching. The test before triumph is temporary. If you're facing strange resistance right now, rejoice. It means you're standing at the threshold of the mountain. Heaven tests only those it trusts. You are not being punished. You are being polished. Soon the pressure will lift, the path will clear, and the mountain will rise fully beneath your feet. Hold on through the shaking, because it's not destruction, it's divine construction. When heaven begins to move you from the valley to the mountain, instruction always precedes elevation. Revelation without obedience is delay in disguise. What God reveals, He expects you to respond to, and what He commands, He empowers you to fulfill. This next season is not about striving, it's about aligning. The mountain is not conquered by human effort. It's climbed through spiritual sensitivity. So listen closely now, for these are not mere suggestions, they are divine coordinates given to keep you steady as the atmosphere shifts around you. 1. Guard your atmosphere. Elevation demands separation. You cannot carry the noise of the valley into the stillness of the mountain. This is the time to be selective about what enters your space. Conversations, music, energy, people. Protect your peace like it's sacred currency because it is. The mountain responds to clarity, not clutter. If something drains your spirit, it no longer deserves your access. 2. Anchor yourself in prayerful silence. Noise distracts. Stillness downloads. When God begins to elevate you, He speaks in whispers, not shouts. Make silence a sacred discipline, not absence of sound, but presence of awareness. Wake early or sit late in stillness. You will notice divine thoughts surface like ripples on still water. That's where new instructions are birthed. 3. Release the residue of the valley. Don't climb carrying old pain. Forgive what wounded you. Bless what left you. Let go of the resentment that secretly tied your heart to yesterday. The mountain air is thin. Bitterness cannot breathe there. You are not ascending to prove your worth. You're ascending because heaven already proved it. The more you release, the lighter your spirit becomes. 4. Stay humble as you rise. The valley taught you compassion. Don't forget that lesson. When the light begins to shine on you, remember that glory is stewardship, not status. The higher you rise, the more you must bow in gratitude, in awareness, in humility. The mountain summit is not a throne. It's an altar. Keep your heart low, and heaven will keep your influence high. 5. Move when instructed, not when inspired. Inspiration feels good, but obedience bears fruit. There will be divine nudges, moments when you'll feel an inner pull to act, speak, or create. Don't overthink it. That's the Spirit prompting your steps. The mountain season is built on divine timing. Obedience opens doors that hard work never could. 6. Strengthen your spiritual stamina. Elevation is beautiful, but it's also weighty. You'll need endurance to sustain what's coming. Feed your spirit with scripture, with worship, with truth. Speak life into yourself daily. Declare what heaven has already said about you. The climb is steep, but every step spoken in faith strengthens your footing. 7. Expect unusual acceleration. When obedience meets timing, momentum explodes. What once took years may unfold in months. What once felt delayed may suddenly flow with ease. Don't be afraid of speed, just stay grounded. Grace, not pace, will carry you safely. And remember, divine instruction is not about restriction. It's about protection. Every boundary heaven gives is a shield against sabotage. You're not being limited. You're being preserved. The mountain has new winds, new altitude, new spiritual weather. To thrive there, you must adjust your rhythm. There will be moments when obedience feels lonely, moments when your old circle won't understand why you've changed. That's because God is tuning you to a higher frequency one, where not everyone can hear what you hear. Don't lower your volume to make others comfortable. Keep listening upward. Heaven's voice is your compass now. Every quiet prompting, every sudden peace, every door that feels weightless when you touch it, that's direction. Follow it without fear. For the mountain is not reached by those who hurry, but by those who heed. Your obedience will be the bridge between prophecy and manifestation. And as you follow these divine instructions, the winds will shift, the path will open, and glory will begin to unfold around you. As you walk the path of obedience, remember this: you are not walking alone. Every step upward is shadowed by divine presence. You may not always feel it, but heaven has surrounded you with invisible strength, a shield woven from light and promise. The valley taught you to trust what you couldn't see. Now the mountain will show you what has always been true. You have never been unprotected. Even when you didn't understand, you were being covered. Even when everything seemed to fall apart, unseen hands held the pieces together. There is a reason you made it through what others could not. It wasn't luck. It was covering. God's hand was over your mind when anxiety tried to consume you. His presence stood guard over your nights when loneliness whispered despair. The same power that calmed storms now surrounds you as a wall of fire and favor. Everywhere you go, grace goes ahead of you. Doors that open are not just opportunities, they are divine escorts. Conversations that bless you are not coincidences. They are confirmations that heaven has gone before you to prepare the way. And while the mountain may bring new visibility, remember it does not remove your covering. Visibility without protection leads to vulnerability, but heaven will not expose what it has not secured. As your influence expands, so will your armor. You are entering a realm of quiet confidence, not loud defense. You won't need to fight as before. The same God who trained your hands for battle in the valley will now fight for you in silence. His favor will speak where your words cannot. Even the unseen realm knows your name. Angels have been assigned to your path, not for spectacle, but for safety. When danger approaches unseen, they intervene quietly. When confusion tries to enter, they stand as guardians at the gate of your mind. You will begin to sense it, the unexplainable peace, the sudden clarity, the unexpected escape from what could have gone wrong. That's divine assurance manifesting. So walk boldly now. You are covered by covenant. No scheme of darkness can unravel what God has established. The valley tested your faith. The mountain will reveal his faithfulness. When you feel uncertain, whisper this truth: I am surrounded. Surrounded by love that does not leave. Surrounded by grace that does not fail. Surrounded by light that no darkness can overpower. You have nothing to fear from what's ahead. The climb may be steep, but your steps are guided. The air may thin, but your breath is sustained. The journey may feel lonely, but you are never alone. Heaven's protection is not fragile, it is eternal. And as you ascend, the sound of fear will fade behind you, replaced by the stillness of trust. Your path is covered. Your heart is guarded. Your destiny is defended. There comes a moment when the climb slows, the wind softens, and you realize you've reached higher ground. The air feels different here. It's thinner, purer, filled with clarity. You turn to look behind you, and the valley stretches far below, distant yet sacred. You remember the nights of tears, the weight of waiting, the ache of uncertainty. But now, it all makes sense. The valley was never a punishment. It was preparation. Every shadow carved depth into your spirit. Every loss gave birth to wisdom. Every silence deepened your hearing. You didn't just survive, you were transformed. You've become someone the valley couldn't break, someone who walks with peace, even when the path is steep. Now look around you. The view from the mountain reveals everything you couldn't see before. You understand now why certain doors had to close, why certain people had to leave, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. It was all divine redirection. Had those doors opened, you would have settled for less than the summit. Transformation is not just change, it's revelation. You no longer crave what you used to chase. Your spirit has matured beyond the noise. You've learned the difference between what looks good and what's God. And that discernment, that clarity, is one of the greatest rewards of your journey. This is fulfillment, but not the kind the world advertises. It's not measured in possessions or applause, but in peace. The mountain glory is internal. First, a calm certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Your heart no longer races to prove itself. Your worth is no longer negotiable. You walk with quiet authority, knowing that heaven's fingerprint is upon your life. And yet this is not the end, it's the unveiling. The mountain season is where God displays what he developed in secret. The light that shines through you now is not borrowed. It's born. The very anointing you gained in your valley now flows effortlessly from you in your words, in your work, in your presence. People will sense something different, though they won't always know why. It's the residue of glory. Everything that once felt heavy has turned to gold. The heartbreak became wisdom. The rejection became redirection. The silence became intimacy with God. You have not lost, you've been remade. And now heaven whispers, this is what I was preparing you for. This peace, this strength, this divine awareness. The mountain doesn't erase the valley, it redeems it. Every painful chapter now becomes part of your testimony. You will speak from scars that have healed, not wounds that still bleed. Your story will carry power because it carries truth, and others will find their own healing through the courage you now embody. This is mountain glory, not fame, not comfort, but fulfillment, the deep knowing that you and God walked through fire and came out shining. You've been refined, not ruined. You've been proven, not punished. You've been promoted in spirit, even before the world notices it in the natural. Look ahead, the horizon glows. The future is open wide and bright. You've entered your season of manifestation. What was once whispered in prayer will now speak in reality. The mountain has risen beneath your feet, and the light that shines on you is heaven's confirmation that the journey was worth it. You've arrived not at an ending, but at a beginning, blessed by divine fulfillment. Take a deep breath. You've reached the mountain. You've seen what once felt impossible. Now let these words settle into your spirit, not just as encouragement, but as decree. You are not who you were when you entered the valley. You are stronger, wiser, softer in heart, but sharper in spirit. You are living proof that God finishes what He starts. From this day forward, walk not in fear, but in fullness. The light that now surrounds you is not temporary. It is eternal. The same power that carried you through the dark will keep you steady in the dawn. Repeat these truths aloud. Let them become the rhythm of your new season affirmation. 1. I am divinely guided even when I do not understand the way. Affirmation 2. Everything I lost was preparation for everything I am about to gain. Affirmation 3. My peace is protected. My path is ordered. My purpose is unfolding. Affirmation 4. The valley was necessary, but the mountain is mine. Let those words echo not just in your mind, but in your atmosphere. Speak them when doubt whispers. Speak them when silence returns. They are reminders that your journey is not random, it is written. And now, receive this blessing. May your heart remain soft, though you have seen storms. May your faith remain bold, though the path still rises. May your voice carry light into dark places. May your presence heal those who have forgotten hope. You will walk in favor that cannot be fabricated, in peace that cannot be stolen, and in joy that cannot be explained. Every shadow that once lingered now becomes a testimony of light. The valley no longer defines you, it refines you. The mountain does not exalt you, it reveals you. And heaven smiles as you stand radiant, ready, renewed. From this moment on, vibe you with confidence. The season of surviving has ended. The era of shining has begun. You are covered. You are chosen. And your story is proof that God still turns valleys into glory. Walk now in that truth, and let the echo of this prophecy guide your every step.